Welcome everyone to Around the ACL. Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder and Jake Brannon, heading into our first open of the 2025-2026 season. I cannot wait. It's been so long since I've been able to watch cornhole on TV, so I am looking forward to this weekend. I know that it's going to be with what do we call it, the A-team, Jake, with Trey and Jeff? What is that?
I don't know. A-team's kind of crazy to me.
All
That's
right.
me personally, but hey,
It's the C-team? Is that the C-team we're rolling in?
C-team. Yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be weird. I don't think I've ever done this much commentary with Jeff, like in a streaming setting. So it's like it's actually kind of a first for us, right? I mean, there's an element of not really understanding, what his vibe is gonna be. Like, are we gonna get through like 3 games and then we go into like this baseball mode of just telling stories the entire time? Because it's just such a difference between, streaming and broadcasting. So I don't know. I think I'm kind of looking forward to it in that regard. Trying to
figure. You guys are going to hate each other by Sunday singles. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, is that because you hate everybody else you work with for?
Absolutely, yeah. They all suck. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Is that why Wally left? Did you just drive Wally
out?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I do. I drive him away. Michelle, you're next.
All the hate mail. All the Jake hate mail.
Yep.
How dare you drive Wally away? All right, getting into the show, we have a lot of pro partnerships that have been announced over the past couple of weeks that we will get into. We're going to touch on the Europe Open, some cool news there. Get into, of course, Open number 1 preview and some buy or sell before our hot takes. Trey, did you have an eventful weekend?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was my birthday weekend, so just kind of got to enjoy some cocktails, my favorite thing to do, and so watch some college football. So I always just birthdays are different when you get older, right? You're almost just like, if I can push pause on them and stop getting older, that would be good. But it was another birthday. I know a lot of people wished it off social media. I didn't get to everybody, so thank you if you wish me a happy birthday. I appreciate it.
All right, Jake, how about you?
My weekend was good. Yeah, I spent it up in Portland, Maine for a wedding of a close friend. And I don't know if either of you two have ever been up to the Portland, Maine, or even up in that New England area, but it is absolutely beautiful up there. The trees are just starting to turn into that beautiful fall foliage that we all know and love. And it was just an absolutely incredible weekend. I was resenting my friend for getting married on possibly one of the greatest sporting weekends in the history of the United States, but it is what it is. I still got my fix in. I got to watch some college football, got to watch the Ravens get smoked on Sunday, but it was a fun weekend. And I'm glad to be home for 4 days before I head out again on the road. So it was a good weekend for me, though.
Jake, I think you and I could start for the defense for the Ravens.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. You put me up at the nose tackle there, I'll get a couple pressures on a quarterback, more than what we're getting now. It's terrible. Yeah, that's my thing. Like my Sundays, like, I'm very fortunate as a Ravens fan because they've always been very good. But now that they suck, I feel like my Sundays are more open up. Like I want to go apple picking or go to an orchard on Sundays now because I don't have to sit and watch football anymore because there's nothing to watch anymore. So
quite 180 there. From football to apple picking. I mean, I think there's stuff in between that, but I like where you're going. I went to Cabo for just under a week. We had a lot of fun there. It was really, really hot. So I did get a little burnt, which is unlike me because normally I hang out in the shade, but you couldn't sit in the shade. It was that hot. You had to be in the pool. The pool doesn't have shade. So got a lot more sun than I prefer. But that's okay. Still a great time being at the beach. And then on Sunday, we actually filmed the finale of From Couch to Cornhole. And you guys, it is crazy. It was actually 22 days that this guy learned cornhole. His started out with a tumble bag, and his bag is prettier than mine. It's beautiful. I'm like, that is so cool to see. So I can't wait for you guys to see how he did because it's just so cool to watch someone go from like never playing cornhole to playing in a tournament in less than 30 days. So pretty cool. Very excited for that. All right, let's get into our new pro partnerships. I'm just going to read them off, and then you guys can pick out the ones that you want to focus on. But Braden Wilson, Eddie Grindersleeve, Jordan Power, Chris Kingsbury, Cameron Belvin, Ryan Windsor, Cash Chamnitz and Justin Burton Jr., Quinn Reeves and Elizabeth Tennyson, Sam Finley and Gina Ramirez, Landon Crabtree and Caitlyn Allshouse, and Ryan Wiedenfeld and Chris Roybal. Those are the ones I saw. Doesn't mean there weren't more. There probably were. There were so many over the last 2 weeks, and I was on vacation for part of it. So I tried to grab them all. But Trey, which ones jump out at you, or do you know anyone that we didn't mention there?
No, this pretty much covers it. The interesting part for me, there's a couple names on here. One of which I want to start with is going to be Cash Chamnitz and Justin Burton Jr. Now, these two are in particular interesting to me because I am always a fan when we get some of these younger players, the U18 players, that are pairing with someone that has a lot of experience, and they're kind of getting a mentor type of role there. What's going to be interesting is the dynamic that I love is, look, Justin Burton Jr. is going to be a very interesting 2026 for him because he's going to become a dad, right? We know that he is so, and on top of that, his new pro partner is 9 years old, going to be turning 10 this year. Okay. He has a lot of mentorship, a very patriarchal type of role coming to him over this next year. And I'm really excited for him in that regard. So for this particular partnership, I think this can actually be a really, really deadly and dynamic team. I always just want to avoid the growth spurts during the season when it comes to Cash Chamnitz, right? So that's the thing I'm always worried about for the younger players. But in general, I think this is a team that could develop some really good chemistry, could be fun to watch. And I think will honestly bring Justin Burton Jr. out of his shell a little bit because he always has been more of a reserve player. And when you play alongside someone like Logan Chamberlain for all these years, Chamberlain forever has had all of that big fiery personality, right? And so that's allowed JBJ to kind of be a little bit more reserved. This is a different year for JBJ, and I think this is going to bring him out of that shell, make him more of an animated player, and I think that's going to be, more interesting to watch. Now, transitioning to a team that is kind of going to have to find a way to manufacture some level of personality within themselves because they've always been able to be kind of the more reserved players, and now they're teaming up together. It's Ryan Wiedenfeld and Chris Roybal, right? That's a new partnership that was just announced recently. Wiedenfeld in particular has always paired with Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith's someone that, again, kind of holds up that personality for the team as far as being more of the extroverted person. Same thing when Chris Roybal has gone with a number of different partners, played with Ryan Hart, played with Gina Ramirez, and so with a family member. Both of those instances, the partner on the other end had a bulk of that personality. So here it's a communication thing and a personality thing for Wiedenfeld and Roybal. I think both of them had slightly disappointing seasons by their own standard this past year. Roybal was able to finish strong towards the end, which helped him. But these two in particular are some of the most talented throwers of bags. So from a pure talent perspective, I'm excited to see what these two can kind of put together and see if they can jive together a little bit. The only other thing, the other team that I think is really going to be interesting to see for here is Jordan Power and Chris Kingsbury. Now, this is a team, obviously, with Cheyenne not coming back, that we didn't expect at least Jordan Power to be looking for a new partner this season. And so Jordan Power going out, and I'm glad to see that he was able to find a high caliber player in Chris Kingsbury. Now, the dynamic that I'm looking for here more than anything, it's not so much personality. I think personality is going to be fine. It is going to be play style. We know that Chris Kingsbury is going to be a very methodical thrower of the bag, someone that takes a long time between throws, someone that is very structured in how he approaches every single bag thrown. Jordan Power, on the other hand, is a complete momentum, energy, amplified experience type of player, and is someone that is going to want to build momentum and ride momentum throughout a game. So my worry here is, as a team, is can they balance the ability for Jordan Power to feel like he can continue to build momentum himself, build off of momentum that Kingsbury builds, or respond from some type of negative experience. And the same thing with Kingsbury. If Power is high energy, hits that big airmail for a bunch of points, is Kingsbury going to be able to take a step back, reset, refocus in a way that benefits both players there? So not worried about talent there. Going to be an exceptional team. Really what it comes down to for me, can they balance each other in the most appropriate way possible?
All right, Jake, who are you looking at?
Yeah, the couple of teams I have my eyes on. First on the list was Braden Wilson and Eddie Grindersleeve, right? I kind of like this for both players specifically because you look at Eddie. Eddie's going to go back to more of a mentor role this season, similar to what he had with Caleb Batson a few years back. He took that year off, played with Dylan Turpin last year. They had a decent season, but I think that they can do better and grow from that. So you give Eddie Grindersleeve a player like Braden Wilson, another young, highly talented caliber player who Eddie can form and mold into this even better player as the season progresses. And even for Braden Wilson, coming off a multiple season run with AJ Sims, moving from AJ to Eddie Grindersleeve, and even a very similar type of game style, similar type of play style, and a similar type of personality as Eddie Grindersleeve. Maybe a little bit quieter than AJ Sims, but I still like that team a lot. And then again, he's going to have somebody to look up to and ask questions and talk to about as the season progresses, as he has all of these tough games. So I love that for Braden Wilson a lot. Really quickly on Jordan Power and Kingsbury, very similar to what Trey said, but I completely agree. They do have similar play styles again, but Kingsbury a little bit more methodical than Jordan Power, a little bit faster. So that is kind of interesting to see how they will react. But another thing, and you see these a lot with these pro teams, the real question is how long will it take for their chemistry to start figuring each other out? Because you see it a lot in these first couple of opens. You'll see all these new teams go out and assume they're going to smoke everybody, and then they end up not doing it. You look at Mark Richards and Tony Smith, their first season together, they performed well, but not as high as what they did this past season after they have a year under their belt. So the question becomes, how quickly does it take for their chemistry to kind of evolve and become what they needed to be successful in the pro division? Real quick, Ryan Windsor and Cameron Belvin. I thought Ryan Windsor retired. I guess not. Well, he's back with Cameron Belvin. I feel like this is a team that could upset a lot of people late in brackets, or maybe even early in brackets. But besides that, I don't know if I can really expect a lot of big things from them, especially with Ryan Windsor kind of coming into the season, assuming he was going to be stepping away from cornhole, and now he's coming back into it. So where is his headspace at in this pro season? That's a thing to look at for Ryan Windsor as well. And again, real quick, love Cash and Justin Burton Jr., man. I love it a lot. I thought it would be really hard for Justin Burton Jr. to find a pro partner with the same level, same caliber as Logan Chamberlain. And I'm not saying Cash is as good as Logan, but that is about as close as you can get, both from the state of Texas and that Houston area. So they're going to have a lot of chemistry already together as well. And again, it goes back to that phrase and that word of chemistry. JBJ and Cash are going to have a lot of strong chemistry coming into the season. So I would not be surprised if they start winning right away. And how about Elizabeth Tennyson and Quinn Reeves, right? E10 has shown a lot of improvements this past season. And now with Quinn, I believe it's safe to say Quinn will be the alpha on this team. I think that is a very big and very good change for him as well, coming off a season playing with Austin Wasco, where Quinn did not play his best at all. But now that he has to be the alpha, he has to be the mentor, maybe that is what it will take for Quinn to take to that next level. Finally, Weed Whacker, Ryan Wiedenfeld, Chris Roybal. I love it a lot. Roybal with an improved partner after a lackluster season with Ryan Hart. I'm looking for very, very good things from Ryan Wiedenfeld and Roybal. The only thing I'm a little concerned of, Wiedenfeld going from BG to Dragon Bags, how will that change affect Wiedenfeld in his first ever pro season playing with somebody not named Ryan Smith?
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Going to miss the Ryans. That was a team we were used to, and we've talked about how rare it is for a team to actually stick together. Alan Rawls, Chris Kingsbury, that was a team that stuck together for a while. Not anymore. Ryan, not anymore. I mean, Eddie and Caleb were a team that were together for a while. So we're really seeing that drop off of just constant changing of partners. And even though it's not romance, it's still a relationship, and relationships require good communication, understanding one another, getting used to people's quirks and all of that. And every time you start a new relationship, you have to kind of cross all those boundaries. And so I do think there is a lot to those teams sticking together. But then you look at like Gore or Guy, and maybe that's a little too close. Maybe it's a little, we need a little bit more boundaries in between. I don't know. That's what we're going to find out, because we've seen that work and not work depending on the closeness. And sometimes, they always say don't live with your best friend, right? So sometimes sometimes when it's family members coming together, we actually need some more distance to create some boundaries around how we're communicating with one another. So curious to see how it all unfolds. Did want to touch quickly on the Europe Open. I didn't get to watch much of it over the weekend, was pretty busy, but I did see that Sam Finley was one of the most impressive people there, was able to win singles and doubles with Gina Ramirez, and of course USA winning the cup. Those Europe players are coming for us, though. I don't think it'll be long before they really start to threaten the US, but we were just doing this longer. That's really what it comes down to, but they're not far behind. But yeah, Trey, thoughts on the Europe Open?
Yeah, no, it was great to see, Sam win that. Now, a historic victory, right? First time a woman has ever won open singles in that event. Took down the entire field. This wasn't just a women's singles victory; it was, a victory of the entire Open. And so, in that regard, it is a historic victory. Shout out to Sam; she continues to roll, even from the second half of last season into this season. Continues to get better and better, and then she does it again in doubles with Miranda Coy. I mean, that was a really great, opportunity to see both of those ladies throwing at a really high level in Croatia. And also, shout out to the largest Europe Open ever. Over 350 players across all of Europe and obviously the United States. We actually had some teams from Asia as well that decided to make the event. So a number of different countries were in attendance. Europe just continues to grow at a really high rate and continues to get better and better as far as talent level goes, right? Right now, we're talking about USA winning another World Cup and another, check on that and add to the trophy case. But, there's going to come a time where that's not going to be the case. Europe continues to get better and better and better. We even saw it with the group of Europeans that were able to make the trip over to the United States for the World Championships. And we just saw the elevation of the game, right, just from a couple of years ago, and it continues to escalate in that regard. And I would say, if you look at the evolution of cornhole in Europe, they are pacing much faster than what the United States did. And I know that's kind of surprising to think of, but if you think about where even just the inception of the ACL, it really, we didn't even see the first time we even saw someone mess around with a roll bag was 2020, right? We look at what Noah Wooten did on a broadcast. That was 5 years after the inception of the ACL. We're now on year 4 and championship number 4 for the European Championship. So again, and we're starting to see more and more players compete at a high level, players throwing above a 10.0 PPR in tournaments. That's something that we didn't see. So really happy for Sam Finley and obviously for Team USA. Always going to be Team USA, obviously being here in the States, but just excited to see the continued growth of what Tone de Vries and the rest of ACL Europe is able to accomplish over there and continue to build it. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, Jake, impressive performance from Sam Finley. She also announced her pro partnership. Just thoughts on Finley?
Sam Finley's really good. No, it's actually insane to see how good she has gotten over the past year and a half. She's quickly, very positively making a case for being the best woman in professional cornhole right now, which is insane to say, but it's true, right? She's gotten so good, a huge couple of wins out in Europe, which is no easy feat, really, because a lot of good Americans were out there too. So shout out to Sam Finley, but man, it's fun watching these Europeans, dude, because I got to see a lot of them at the World Championship, so it was really cool watching them as well. If you would have told me or you 5 years ago that we'd be in Croatia for a major tournament and they were coming over here and beating some of our Americans, we would have been crazy. But the truth is, like, these guys like Roman Elsner, all of these Europeans are getting very, very good, very, very fast over there, which is a little scary to think about. But yes, besides that, Sam Finley, I expect great things from her this season. I love teaming up with Gina Ramirez. They're going to be one of the, if not the team to beat in the women's doubles side this season. So I expect to see them a lot on our live streams and broadcasts this season for sure.
Yeah, and I think I actually misspoke earlier. So Sam won with Miranda Coy in Europe, and she's partnering with Gina Ramirez, so I didn't want to take away Miranda Coy's win there. I think she's been to Europe before with a win, right, Trey?
Yeah, Miranda's been a few times. I think she's gone just about every year. I'm not sure if she was in Rotterdam, but she definitely went to the Paris event. She was in Germany last year, and then obviously Croatia this year.
Yeah, okay. Strong work there for Miranda Coy as well. Let's talk about Open number 1 here in the States, coming up in Rock Hill, like we always like to kick it off, and took a look at the registrations, some fun teams on there. I'm curious to know if some of the teams that signed up together, is that the team that is that going to be doubles partners, ? Like there was some on there that haven't announced yet, so very curious. But we'll start with you, Trey. Who are you looking at for Open number 1?
Yeah, just to set the stage. So we're kind of back to the way that things had done in the past, whereas these are now just opens, right? These do not have specific pro brackets associated with them, which means that pro players can freely play with amateur players. These are going to count towards open standings. This is the first instance. We talked a couple episodes ago about the new incentive program and the new open standings program that we put out there that people can be a part of and people can earn points towards to get some great rewards. Well, it starts here at this first event here in Rock Hill. So love to do that. I looked at registrations. Looks like this event is going to be bigger than last year's Open in Rock Hill, which is great to see. By the time we get to play starting on Friday, we'll be above that number based on the pacing that I'm seeing here. So that's really, really exciting. People continuing to want to come back to Rock Hill. Now, diving into the different teams, this could be an experimentation period for a lot of these players, right? They're figuring out, do they have some dynamic? The first team that I see highlighted on the sheet that you sent over, Michelle, is Austin Wasco and Eric Davis, right? So these two in particular pairing up together, right? No idea what that means, but certainly that is a scary team and certainly a team that's going to be able to hit any shot in the book, and would be really, really excited if that's a little bit of flavor that we got to see throughout the rest of the season. I feel like Eric Davis for the past 2 seasons just hasn't had Matt Sorrells finish a season with him, and that's been really probably fairly frustrating for him. And so for him to have someone that's much more dedicated in Wasco, I think is going to be really, really cool. Other teams that stuck out to me, that I'm really excited to watch, Sammy Soto and Colby Shearer. This is a team that is new this season. Obviously, Sammy Soto and Gavin Cano going separate ways as Chamberlain and Cano are going to team up. We already talked about where Justin Burton Jr. is going to be ended up with, but Sammy Soto, really interesting partner selection to end up with Colby Shearer. I think it speaks to how great of a season and how much of a bounce back season that Colby Shearer had this past year. Because if you had told me a year ago that Sammy Soto was going to pair up with Colby Shearer, I would have felt like something was obviously off there. But Colby Shearer able to get a big breakout year, win that award, then pair with Sammy Soto. To me, this is all about dynamic of personality. We know Sammy Soto is going to be one of the most exceptional players in the field, going to be an elite level talent. Now, sometimes I picked up last season, some tension between him and Gavin Cano. Now, it worked. They were an elite team. The personality that Sammy brought to that partnership was something that was able to have some level of cohesion. Now, Colby Shearer, on the other hand, played with someone like a Matt Wilson. I'll say this much. Matt Wilson and Sammy Soto could probably not have more different personalities, right? Neither one of them is overly vocal or overly intense, but Matt Wilson is going to be much more of a positive presence, whereas Sammy Soto is going to be much more of a focused, locked-in, very serious type of mentality. And not saying that one is better than the other. It's more just saying it's going to be a difference for Colby Shearer when he misses that bag or he makes that bag, when he looks down the other end to his partner, he just has a different experience and a different reaction coming from that side. That's why this first event makes it so interesting for me to watch Shearer and Soto play. Shearer, of course, playing in this area so that he is going to, he's going to have some, him playing in this area, being from Rock Hill, playing kind of on his home court. Well, one of the other teams I want to talk about is an ACL pro team this year that I find really, really interesting because they have not been pros before for being, junior players, being collegiate players, Spencer Fabianar and Tony Forbes. I'll say this much. Pressure's on for you, Michelle, in the state of California, because we have been saying for years and years and years that these two are the best up-and-comers in the sport. There's no more place to up-and-comer anymore. This is where you are. You are supposed to be a top 10 team in the world. The expectations for me for Forbes and Fabianar is exactly that. And I believe that anything that falls short of a top 10 finish for this team this season is a disappointment. I believe that they are that good. They are that talented. They've beat the best in the world time and time again. Tony Forbes went through that onslaught of junior players time and time again and won the most junior titles. Forbes and Fabianar had some of the best finishes at Spencer McKenzie's, one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive tournaments in the world under the craziest conditions. These guys have done anything to set up their path to be great professional cornhole players. And as we look at both of them going into their first rookie season, I have expectations that are sky high for them, obviously, and looking to see if they're going to elevate to that level.
I think they'll do it. What about you, Jake?
That's a lot of pressure on Tony Forbes and Spencer Fabian. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on them because I like them a lot, but I set the bar a little bit higher. Okay. Looking at Open One, it was funny because I clicked on the link of all the players and teams, and the further I kept looking on the list, I was like, "Ooh, that's a good team. They're probably going to win." And then I kept scrolling, and then I saw, "Ooh, that's a good team. They're probably going to win." And then I kept scrolling. I said, "Ooh, that's a good team. They're probably going to win." So now I have no idea who's going to win. So let's start all the way back up at the top real quick. Got to give a big shout out. The first team that is on the list, because it's in alphabetical order, my guys, Aaron Stolaric and Aaron Sagai. They're two kids from Salisbury University. They started their own college club a couple hours away from me at Salisbury, and they are hot and they are hungry. They played in the first college meet at UMass Amherst a couple of weeks ago and finished third in both doubles and singles. So right on the edge, only lost to Winthrop. So shout out Winthrop. But yeah, they're going to be looking good. I'm looking forward to them making a big run in Myrtle Beach. All right. We look down the list. First team that came to mind, boom, Austin Wasco, Eric Davis. Like Trey mentioned, we don't know for sure if this is going to be a pro team because there hasn't been an announcement yet, so you don't really understand. Maybe they're just doing this for fun, or maybe they are going to be a pro team. Nobody knows yet, so let's keep an eye on that. Put a pin in that one. I got a dog barking in my background. So sorry, guys. Keeping it going. We talked about it already. I love Cash and JBJ. All right, keeping it going. How about Colin Powers and Richard Nyberg? Right, we talked about them a few weeks ago on Around the ACL when they announced their pro partnership. I'm curious to see how many events it is going to take for them to start getting good and right. But Richard Nyberg has been up there for a while. How about Colin Hodette and Gage Landis, another new pro team? I saw both of them play at Paradise Grill a few weeks ago. While they didn't play with each other, they were still there interacting with each other a lot. So I think their chemistry is going to be pretty good for this season. They have very similar bag styles, very similar game styles as well. And then Gage Landis throwing those brotherhood bags for the first time ever this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing them play in their first big tournament together. We keep scrolling down the list. This is a big one for me. I love this a lot on paper. It is Gabriel Clausen and Ethan Farias. Both players had a stellar season on the junior singles side individually. They both had some good accomplishments on the doubles side in the junior pro division as well. Now you pair them together, I feel like the ceiling for them is a mile high. I feel like they can do literally whatever they want. I feel like they're going to have a couple of tournaments where they compete in the end, and they're playing against the Mark Richards and Tony Smiths. They're playing against the Gavin Canos and Logan Chamberlains, and they may get a win or two against some of these big teams. The question is, can they keep up that consistency? I think this first event is going to be a very good telltale sign. If they go 0-2 or 1-2, that's going to raise a really big red flag for me. But if they can get a good draw in a bracket and make a semifinal or even a winner's bracket final in their bracket and prove that they can compete with all of these guys, I'm going to be looking at them a lot as the season progresses. I moved down this list. This one scares me a lot. Gio Moore and Espen Jackson, you mentioned, we're back into the open format, so these pros can play with these amateurs. Gio Moore playing with Espen Jackson. On paper, this team is insane. Gio Moore had such a great run at the World Championships and again at Spencer McKenzie's. I mean, the sky is the limit as well for this team. If Gio can play like Gio did these past couple of months, I would not be surprised at all if they win the entire thing. So keep an eye out for Gio Moore and Espen Jackson. Just below them, Hayden Gonzalez, Jackson Remick, 2 Winthrop kids. Hayden had a stellar season last year. Jackson, maybe a little bit lower of a season just because he played on that college tour, so we didn't get to see his name as much, but both throwing BG bags, both have very similar play styles. I like this team. Expect them to make good runs. Maybe not at this first event trying to get their footing, but again, you go back to the home field advantage with these two. These two are living, 150 feet away from the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center at Winthrop University. They play in the headquarters all the time. I'm sure Trey doesn't get annoyed by them and all the Winthrop kids throwing beanbags in the HQ every day. I'm sure that doesn't get annoying at all. I like them a lot. But then you look down here. My, oh my, because we know these two aren't pro partners together, but how about Jamie Graham and Ethan Walker teaming up? My goodness, I feel like Jamie usually always experiments with his first open. You look back a couple of years ago, Jamie played with Chad Hunt in open doubles, and they ended up taking the whole thing down. So now he's teaming up with Ethan Walker, one of the best roll bags in the game. If the boards are sticky, if it is just slightly humid in that Rock Hill Sports and Event Center this weekend, they should win the entire thing, and I would not be surprised in the slightest.
Hey,
that team is scary. I love
Jay,
it a lot.
did you see, and Trey, you as well, did you see Jamie Graham post looking for a partner for Open number 1 on Facebook?
I did not. No,
I did not.
The best players. Hey, guys, need a partner.
Yeah, does anyone want to play with me? I'm having trouble finding somebody.
That is actually kind of crazy.
That is how that must have happened. Because I remember that Chad Hunt had messaged and said, hey, we've done this before. And of course, everybody's like, yeah. I'll play with you, Jamie Graham. So I'm guessing
honestly,
that's how happened.
Graham and Walker is kind of like, it's gonna be one of those teams where I have no idea if that works, but like could be really fun actually. Like could just mess around and win this thing.
Well, it's like Eric Davis, right? Doesn't Jamie Graham get like annoyed playing with Eric Davis sometimes just because Eric's so crazy with? So it's like I feel like he just got the same thing with Walker.
Maybe. Really quickly,
that's actually a great point.
2 more teams before we move on really quickly that I just noticed. Quinn Reeves and Gavin Hammond. Again, 2 BG bag throwers. Gavin Hammond, another one of those Winthrop kids. I'm not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but they can absolutely go on a run. Again, if the boards are a little bit tacky, they can get those blocks and rolls down. I like them a lot.
Is that what we're hearing, Trey?
I was like, can you hear bags? It's
So
probably Gavin Hammond right there. Oh, there's Jackson right there. There's they're all just
come on, guys. We're recording a podcast.
That's so funny. Final team I noticed, Ryan Wiedenfeld, Jaden Ellis, another team that obviously they're not going to be throwing together this season. Jaden Ellis actually throwing with Ryan Wiedenfeld's former pro partner. So maybe Ryan Wiedenfeld's going to play with Jaden Ellis and maybe get in his head and say, hey, Ryan Smith stinks. I don't know. And then I don't know what's going to happen there. But interesting dynamic there with Wiedenfeld and Jaden Ellis. I like it a lot. So we'll see how they can do. In Rock Hill, I'm bummed I'm not going to be there, guys.
Yeah, actually, do you mind just coming by, Jake, on Friday before you go to the college tour, then just set up all the trusses and then and then you go to the college tour? Does that work?
Sorry, you cut out. What did you say you cut out?
Missed that.
Absolutely zero chance. It's so far out of the way.
So does that mean that Trey and Jeff and Corey are doing setup and teardown?
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing some type of setup on Thursday.
Amazing.
So Corey Russell's going to be whipping you into shape. She's going to be whipping you into shape. Trey. Let's go, baby.
That's so good.
Screwing cameras in and doing, well, I don't know.
I mean, you used to do it.
The first stream comes on Friday.
Yeah, no. I did not used to do. I used to put 2 cameras on like a little baby truss and be done, and that was it. And then you guys came in and were like, "Actually, can we add 13 cameras to this setup,
nope.
please?"
Do not throw Jake and I in that category.
That is Corey Russell and Chase Hunter. Do not listen to them.
We're good with your setup, Trey.
Yeah,
I can't.
I got crazy with a 5th camera. I was like, I'm gonna do overheads, the 2 cross shots, and then I'll add 1 that I can kind of
blow our minds right now.
That's how I got crazy.
I can't wait till the first stream on Friday when it looks like this on the board. Oh my! I cannot wait.
I'm just gonna get on air and be like, "Hey, Corey, you gotta go fix that. Go fix that really quick."
How many Floridas are they gonna have, Jake? We should do an over/under.
Ooh, that may be good. Ooh, I don't know because they're used to having a talk back and a cough button on the big broadcast, so and they may be all right.
Okay.
Although I did screw it up one time because it was different. I was so used to the way that our talkback works. When I did streaming at some point this past season, like you have to push it and then let go, which is different than when we're on broadcast. Where on broadcast you push and hold it, and as you hold it, it keeps you talkback or mute or whatever. So I'm sitting there holding it, I'm like, "So what are we doing, Wally?" And then I would just full on audio to everybody else. So no F-bombs though. I won't be a Jake Brannon.
Oh, low blow.
Only in Myrtle Beach. Can't wait till Myrtle Beach. We'll do it again.
All right. Time for buy or sell. I will read you a statement here and then you let me know if you buy or sell. The first one, team chemistry matters more than raw talent when it comes to surviving these early season opens. Trey?
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm actually going to sell it because I think the opposite is probably true. I think team chemistry is going to matter more as oh man, do I want to just argue against myself now? Now I want to kind of go against it. No, I think yes. No, I'm gonna buy it. I changed my mind because I was thinking about more of like a Mark Richards and a Tony Smith, right? The beginning of when their partnership was happening, they're saying to themselves like they're not winning as much, and it's because they haven't developed a lot of that team chemistry. So if you have team chemistry early, it's going to give you that leg up, right? It's going to allow you to win early because then once they figured that out, yikes. Like it's just a completely different team or it's a completely different dynamic. They're dominant. So yes, I think it gives you a leg up until you can get that talent. You just need to be able to play naturally and play and just lean into your talent. And if you can do that, that's when you succeed. So I guess I bought it after changing my mind halfway through the answer.
That was a journey. Did you have fun on that journey there, Jake?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm buying it, which I think that means I agree with Trey. I think I lost track.
Yeah, you do.
I think teammate chemistry, and then I alluded to it a lot. I feel like I've said the word chemistry a ton already this episode, but I feel like the chemistry matters so much in the early stages because you look at a team like we talked about Jordan Power and Chris Kingsbury. They're going to use these first couple of opens to kind of work through and deal with what it's going to take to get that chemistry working. So when these big signatures come around later in 2026, they don't have to worry about that. And they know what makes each other click. They can go out, throw bags to the best of their ability. Now, I feel like this weekend we'll put it to a really good test because if you see a team like Gavin Cano, Logan Chamberlain come out there and perform well, then you know that their chemistry is working. But if you see a team who has never played together before, like Jamie Graham and Ethan Walker come out here and win the whole thing, throw chemistry out the window. It doesn't matter. It's just all about raw talent. So I think this weekend is going to be a very good telltale sign as to whether that is a true buy or sell. But for me personally, I'm buying.
I got a follow-up question for you guys. We have a little bit of time here. Can you in romantic settings, I don't know if you could build chemistry, right? You're just kind of you either have it or you don't. I don't know. Agree? Disagree? Can you build chemistry?
I think you can build it for sure. I mean, because especially in a first date setting, you take the time to learn more about the person that you're talking to. You build relationships with them. You figure out what you have in common, what you don't have in common, and you use that information to build the chemistry and build the relationship with the person that you're talking to.
Yeah, I think chemistry is a loaded word in which we just say everything falls under this one blanket. Like there are things you develop, communication you develop, right? And so if we're looping in communication under this blanket chemistry term, then of course chemistry can change over time. And and we've seen it happen before. One player gets better than the other, and then they switch roles. That chemistry changes, and that dynamic changes.
All right. We'll see at least one team that nobody's talking about right now. That means we didn't mention them on this episode right now. Make a deep run this weekend. Is it possible, Trey? You buying or selling?
Yeah, I'll buy it only because I just checked and within the past hour, AJ Sims and Devin Harbaugh registered. So
not
I
fair.
guess that
not
counts.
Fair. No, that doesn't count. They would have been talked about had we seen them on the list. Doesn't count.
Yeah, so Michelle does not think AJ Sims and Devin Harbaugh can do anything for this event. So I am just going to say that I believe in them to be a successful team. No, I'll say yes, buy it. There's going to be, again, an amateur team that has some level of team chemistry that plays well together, that it will come through this event and we'll go on a deep run. I don't know who that is. Maybe it'll be someone local to Rock Hill. But we're now back, and then amateurs playing against the pro players. So Jeff and I, there is going to be a game this weekend that before we go live, I go over to him. Hey Jeff, who is this guy? And and neither one of us know, and that's what's great about it.
Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to buy that as well. I feel like there's always somebody or some team that slips through the cracks that we don't normally talk about, and they always end up, especially this first open of the season, right? We've had about a month and a half off from big tournaments, so there's going to be some players and teams that have been working very hard during that offseason. They're going to come out of the woodworks and smoke everybody, and we're not going to expect it at all. So I think this is a pretty easy buy for me.
All right, if you're listening and you think that's you, this is your call out. So we'll see you there. All right, someone from Texas will be in the finals at Open number 1, Trey.
Easiest buy of all time. I think. I mean, look, I get Wasco and Davis by answering this, right? And I guess you could be talking about singles, but let me just go through like some of these people that are going to be considered in here if we also include doubles as being in the finals. Chamness and Burton Jr. I get.
Apparently AJ Sims and Devin Harbaugh.
Sims and Harbaugh, which is ridiculous. Chamberlain and Cano, I get. Reeves and Hammond, I get. Soto and Shearer, I get. Right, just one of those making the finals. Yeah, I'll take that to the bank.
Jake,
this is hard, but I sold it just to go off of the odds, right? There are more teams signed up that are not from Texas than there are teams signed up that are from Texas. Now, I know it's hard. It's hard to go against a lot of those teams from Texas, but I have to sell just for the odds. Like, odds are that a team not from Texas is going to make the final.
I mean, you could get a Tony Forbes and Spencer Fabianar versus Jamie Graham and Ethan Walker in the finals. Like, that's not unheard of. Like, that's possible.
Yeah. What about the shirt you're wearing there, Jake? How much confidence you got?
I don't even know if he's coming. I didn't even see him on the list. Did he?
He's on the list. Yes, he is.
I didn't even talk
I'm
about
almost
him.
Positive. Hold on.
Mike Hoffman and Leston Allen Jr. Jake has no faith in you.
No faith.
Absolutely zero.
That's a great.
Wore the shirt and no love.
I love Mike. He's going to win singles. I'm not. He's going to win singles on Sunday, so it's fine.
A junior player will be in the finals at Open number 1, Trey.
Actually going to sell this one. I know there's a lot of talented players. 2 key age outs from a U18 group from this past season. I just want everybody to keep in mind. Sammy Soto, no longer a part of that U18 group, no longer a junior player. So he ages out. And Tony Forbes also in that group. So that's 2, I think, significant members of that U18 class that were super critical. You're still going to have your Cash Chanmis, your Jack and Jake Gore, your Zach Aiken. I'm still worried about Zach Aiken's wrist, though, right? I want to see some time go by. I think he'll be ready by the time the signatures come around. So to me, it's just adding up to a lot of it doesn't line up. And so because of that, I think it's a safer bet to sell it.
Jake?
I'm selling it. It's a trap, and I'll tell you why it's a trap. I feel like every single time we preview an event, this question comes up. A junior will be in the finals, and I feel like we always buy it. And then there's never a junior in the finals ever. So I'm going to reverse psychology it. I'm going to sell it. There's not going to be a junior in the finals, and then it'll be an all juniors final. No. How old is Espen Jackson? Is he aged out yet?
Ooh, good question.
Because I'll tell you, if he hasn't aged out, then I may have to revert back to buying it. Espen Jackson's first ever event where he can play against pro players again. Oh, it's hard to go against that kid. I love me some Espen Jackson.
Man, it looks like if his player profile in his ACL account is correct, looks like he turns. Looks like he would turn 18 this weekend.
What?
No way.
Yes.
Well, happy early birthday.
So now I don't know. That might be wrong. Like, I mean, some people don't. They should keep their profile completely up to date. But it's
like his birthday's gonna change.
Yeah, October 3rd. So
on October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
Question mark? Okay. All right.
Mean Girls reference. All right, it's fine. I got it.
No, I get it. We get it. We just didn't laugh.
Sorry, went right over my head. Chamberlain, Cano are the favorites at open number 1, Trey.
Oh, man. Chamberlain and Cano are the favorites. Yeah. No, I mean, yes. Yeah, they have to. I mean, you have 2 top 10 players. They already have the chemistry. I knew it's a new partnership, but I mean, it doesn't mean they're definitely going to win. But if I'm putting odds on this, I'm giving them the best out of anybody, right? You could argue Graham and Walker could be really special. You could argue Soto and Shearer, Fabianar and Forbes, like all those different Guy and Guy are playing. You know, we haven't really talked about them. Look, all those could win, but those guys deserve to have the best odds out of anybody. So I'd say yes, buy it.
Jake?
This is a very, very easy buy for me. I mean, I can't put into words how incredible the experience was at Paradise Grill a few weekends ago. I've had about 15 Orange Crushes. I'm sitting on top of the stage, and I'm watching 200 people surrounding Gavin Cano, Logan Chamberlain, Alex Rawls, and Gage Landis as I watch Gavin and Logan dismantle Gage and Alex and double dip them to win the Paradise Grill $10,000 prize. I mean, it was so insane to watch. I mean, you could have thought it was inside on a main TV broadcast, and they were as cool as a cucumber, right? There was a wind factor. There were people close to them as a factor, and it doesn't matter. These two were incredible, and there's no reason why they should not be the favorites to win this weekend in Rock Hill.
All right. Hot take time. What you got, Trey?
I'm going to lean into all the pressure I put on these guys earlier in the show. Tony Forbes, Spencer Fabianar make it to the finals here at open number 1.
Okay. That's kind of mine, but we'll go with it. All right, Jake.
Mine is on the single side. My hot take is a non-top 100 pro will win open singles in Rock Hill.
I like that. Well, I'm doubling down on what Trey said. Not only will Tony and Spencer make it to the finals, they're going to win it. That's right. They're going to win it.
Wow.
Trey's going to feel so stupid. Yeah, what a dumb hot take you had.
That means there's only one scenario in which I'm a smart guy, and is if they make the finals and then lose. Like
Yeah.
You know what she just did? She just went on the Price is Right, and after I bid $1, she bid $2.
Yeah. Oh, you bid 1 and I bid 2?
No, I bid $1 and she goes, I bid $2. So now, unless the stupid prize is $1, then I lose.
It's never $1.
I'm aware.
That's so funny.
All right, that's all we got time for. Everyone enjoy all the incredible cornhole coming up this weekend in Rock Hill. If you can be there live, definitely go and spend time in the room. It's electric and fun. If not, we'll see you on TV. Jake, have fun on the college tour. And Trey, we'll see you and Jeff, the C team, on the mics there. So get ready for that. All right, guys, that's all we got time for. See you next time.